Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, let's have
Those
a long discussion
dirty,
on
dirty
entomology.
Slavic people. I saw that
You can't say that now. We with our awesome Polish guy in our in our
he didn't look
hangout.
Slavic though.
He's Slavic.
That dude was clearly Germanic ancestry. Did you see his proud brow? Come on.
Did you see his proud brow? I guess so.
Yeah.
And he looked fit. The way I imagined a Polish, I
renamed him. He had a ridiculous name.
I picture Polish people, French people, and Italian people not being fat, whereas I picture like the United Kingdom probably being the fat of Europe, which still makes them like marathon runners compared to us.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I wouldn't be surprised if the UK's fatter than us. There's a lot less.
No way. There's no way.
We're not as fat as we used to be. We're getting all these spry brown people flooding in. I mean,
from Mexico.
joining. Yeah.
Mexico's the
fattest
you have
to understand, Taylor.
No, that's the Biden take on it, Woody, from Mexico.
Yeah,
well,
Taylor,
they do come across
the
that
Mexicans
border.
we're getting have just walked 1,000 miles. They're thin and they're fit.
They're not sending their thinnest. They're sending big fat retards.
they're sending fucking black people from coastal regions who are fucking spry. Whenever they go to the border and they start interviewing the actual migrants and seeing where they're from, it's so rarely Mexico. The Mexicans are already here. All the Mexicans that wanted to come came already. It's places way further south, or just Europe, Africa, or the Middle East.
Actually, that's a good point. I'm looking at this graph here,
that would
Global Obesity Observatory, and Africa is thin.
Can you make it bigger, Zach, please?
Actually, as with all these graphs, Africa just has nobody collecting the data, so that's probably what it actually is.
I love that. I love that.
Dude,
we don't even.
I would believe anything you told me. If you said they were all like giant fat people built like Buddha sitting on thrones, I'd be like, yes, that ties in with my expectation. If you told me they were rail thin, starving with bugs on their eyeballs, I'd be like, yeah, I've seen that too.
I've seen that. I've seen the sad videos that somehow would just inexplicably make it in between two weird shows on Adult Swim. It's like, wait, what's this doing going on? What's going on here? Okay, so we're not actually number one, but there's a caveat here. It's because like the top 9 are all tiny little Samoan nations. Like it's all the Samoas. So if we pull them out of the count, the United States is 10, and then Qatar.
But what are we ranking?
This is
BMI.
percent obese by country, and
Okay,
it is the Global Obesity Observatory, and they're very easy to observe. Let's see. There's
observatory.
The observatory. Just one weirdo.
It's just assholes with a megaphone yelling at people.
And Whale Watchers rolls off the tongue so much better.
You know, I don't know if this is reliable because it goes against some of my preconceived notions. And so Croatia's fat? Say it ain't so. I figured they'd be fit. Poland, they're fatter than Canada. Libya is fatter than the United Kingdom. Yeah, they need to, I don't know. Who's funding this? Let's see. Who's at the
George
bottom?
Soros, no doubt.
This is funded undoubtedly by big Ethiopia because they're down there at 200 with purportedly 1.1% of their country being fat. Which
I mean, that makes sense. They're very hungry there.
Vietnam, very thin country. I buy that. India, only 5% of them are big fat people.
Ethiopia holding it down as the skinniest country. Who saw that coming?
I didn't. I figured it'd be somewhere in that corner.
You would think Mogadishu, honestly, because they have like famines there.
Yeah. Well, that's just Mogadishu is just the capital of Somalia, right?
Oh, it's got to be the Palestinians. They're the skinniest people in the world. I saw a kid today that had starved to death in Palestine, and he was so thin, Taylor.
Dude, like Twitter is just like, hey, we noticed that you've been liking hockey highlights. Here's a dead child. It's like, oh, this is a lot of dead kids for
that kid shouldn't have voted for Hamas. You get what this is what he had coming for him.
Well, I mean, yeah, a little bit,